everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is...
All right, we appreciate it, Larry. It's our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Tonight we kick off Week 13 with a great Thursday night matchup between the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by Kirk Cousins, their Pro Bowl quarterback, in his 6th season now.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Cousins on first down. This one complete to Jordan Reed. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
This is Kelly, and this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that's a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Now the 4th-year man from Oklahoma, Tress Way, on to punt. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. Oh, he's got some breathing. Oh, Elliott going to be hit. He coughs it up. Loose football.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. A first down carry by Elliott. And past the 30 down to about the 27. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
So this brings up a 2nd and 2. They'll try the air now with Smith. And this is incomplete. Jason Witten, the intended target. And it's 3rd and short. Now the former Redskin 1,000-yard man. This is Alfred Morris. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. He needed 2. He got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. He needed a yard. He didn't get anything. And the Redskins defense going to take over on the turnover on downs. They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
Third and long for Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
My dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on third downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. Fielded at about the 28. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know. We know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, because the whole month of December is still left to play. They think they can get in. And
they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Smith. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
They are going for it. It's Smith. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. There he goes, right side. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Redskins touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
That's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
But now Dallas gets set to take the field. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example. And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. Into the Redskins. Have it they do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. On the run, it's Kelly. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20. Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Garner. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. So now on 4th down, Jay Gruden will call on his field goal unit. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So they recover the fumble but could not take advantage of the short field. They do get 3.
And no one ever turns down 3 points going up on the board, but the offense will go to the sidelines wondering what if, while the defense on the other side, they'll celebrate holding them to just a field goal after giving up such bad field position.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal, and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive a little more pep in it?
Ezekiel Elliott gonna take it the distance. Touchdown, Cowboys! Ezekiel Elliott, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Cowboys are able to show off their quick strike ability. And he's able to put it through. Bailey now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. There's Rob Kelly now as he and the offense head back out. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They'll go again with Kelly. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Throwing, Cousins. Got a man open, it's Brian Quick. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 8 and a 1st down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Well, a free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. Working out of the gun. Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Cowboys have recovered.
That's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
But that certainly felt like an example of a defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've gotten mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game, they want to keep it going.
Here's Smith now on second down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Williams. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
50-50.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Now a play fake here on first down. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Jason Witten, his second touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys are in for 6. What a great weapon. So often, such a big mismatch.
And there's no route he can't run. You name it, he's going to do it. And he's a matchup nightmare for the defense. No matter who they put on him, he's going to win the battle.
Bailey now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. There's Rob Kelly now as he and the offense head back out. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. They run with it. It's Kelly. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. The game clock sitting at 2:02, so they'll get one play before the 2-minute warning. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. And he's going to be hit and driven into the turf. So 1:55 to go in the first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Larry Ridley is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. On 3rd down, it's Thompson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. He'll return it from the 6. Well, that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. Des Bryant now, he gears up to help lead this offense again. Second quarter, a guy like him, no catches, so that's the surprising part. But they're winning, so maybe they've been able to do some other things effectively, I guess.
And they found other ways, haven't they? Because the receivers will tell you, offense needs to run through us, but they're managing to get it done in this ball game without having to actually do that. I wouldn't expect them to stay silent for the rest of the game, though.
Yeah, you got to think that his first catch is coming at some point. After the run, Smith going to throw. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he gets this one all the way up to the 40. A really good pickup of 28 yards. On first down, Smith. Going right side, he has Witten. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. On first down, it's Smith. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Out of the gun, Smith. And that'll be incomplete. Des Bryant, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. On second down, Elliott. Oh, fighting off the defender. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Back to throw, Smith. Complete to Bryant. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now the 7th-year man, Chris Jones, on to kick. Back deep here, Jamison Crowder. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Defense showing blitz. The drive starts with Rob Kelly. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So we have come to halftime here. Well, who needs a halftime? Am I right? Let's resume play. Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
12 yards there as they move the chains.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
10th carry now for Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight. But I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. Now that one came close to hitting the big scoreboard up there as the fair catch is made inside the 20-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up.
Kelly stripped. The ball is free. But the Redskins look to get this one back, and indeed they did. It's still Washington football. But call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill, or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 11 yards for number 11.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there? You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
There he goes left side. Touchdown, Washington. Rob Kelly with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Redskins are able to strike for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Novak out now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Nice little juke. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps, and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. From the gun, here's Smith. Completes it to Jason Witten. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. In motion left goes a tight end. Elliott. And an alley to run. And he's going to be stopped dead in his tracks. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
6 yards to go here on second down. They go to Elliott again. And he is going to lose yardage here. It goes as a loss of 6. And now third down.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
Here's Smith. And he fires one, but incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. And they're definitely showing blitz here. A first down throw for Cousins. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he loses the football the second time. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And the field position doesn't get much better than this. They'll have it 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard that time. 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. And this offense on 3rd down today, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. Now Smith. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
So give them 3 there. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they couldn't punch it in.
And credit this defense, too. That was the old bend but don't break approach, but it kept the offense out of the end zone.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Second down, Cousins. Pryor has it complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 yards for number 11.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Cousins now on second down. Caught on the right side, Reed. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Cousins to his big target. Reed and the Redskins have a first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Picked up a first down.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The rookie from Michigan, Taco Charlton. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. He already has 2 sacks to his credit. Now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible. Because right now, he is wrecking things for them. Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now this time he'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Sewell Cravens with a pick. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. So how about that for a momentum switch?
We're in the 4th quarter and it's a tie game. You've got to take care of the football here. Now their opportunity to take the lead right out the window, and everything is flipped in the other direction.
Following the interception, Cousins throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with 3rd down looming. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Got to kick it, right? I mean, even the short yardage, you boot this thing, don't you?
Yeah, but I know how aggressive you are. I know what you want. You want to go for it, don't you? You're feeling it, aren't you?
Yeah, but treat it like a football game, not like Madden.
I like that. Fight the temptation, kick the field goal, because if you go for it and don't get it, you put a lot on your defense in a short amount of time.
So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front. But then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out, and you think, I don't know, the field goals are going to be enough to get us home.
So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. And, of course, the quarterback in this situation, he's realizing time is becoming a factor. Let's see if they can get some points on the board here late. Again, it's Elliott. He fights forward for a couple with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back.
Holding offense.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
And let's see what the defensive coordinator may have up his sleeve here to try to get this final last stand and win this football game. Now it's Smith. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. And that's caught by Beasley. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. This is Morris. And he'll get this across midfield to the 48. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Back to throw. And Beasley with it over the middle. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Here's Elliott. 10 more there and another first down.
Well, they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. He's back to throw. Bryant with a catch right side. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Inside of a minute to go now, 2 timeouts left, still in pretty good shape.
I think they're in excellent shape here if they use the timeouts judiciously and use the sideline as an additional timeout.
Dancing to his left. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. Even after more than a decade in the league, Smith still one to account for with his legs as he picks up a first. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the first, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movements. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to be what we...
He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow. 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 I know it's a never-say-never situation. But to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
A score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And now running right through him. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. One possession game, time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice.
And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Alex Smith and company heading back out there now. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. He'll look to throw. And this one caught by Beasley. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Back to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And they will get the timeout. So 3 seconds remaining, and they can trot out the field goal unit and try to send this one to overtime. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. And his kick is indeed good. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Not a bad idea to start overtime. Feed the hot hand.
And understand that when you're feeding that hot hand, everyone else is pretty much in agreement on it. You know, a team looks at their game and says, all right, who's playing really well? Let them touch the football, and we'll do our job to help him along.
Cousins completes it to Quick. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He's had some big runs in this game. Not there, though.
But I don't think they're going to be deterred by that play right there. He's had some nice runs in the game. And how many times have we seen a good running back get stopped, yet turn it into something big on a later carry? I'd stay with him.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. His throw incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there. And that takes us from second to third down.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Third and long for Cousins. And that is incomplete. Now, their defense did its job. Now they're going to get the football with a chance to win it.
And it feels like they ran out on the field, and right before they did, they told the offense, don't worry about this. We got you. Okay, we've got the situation under control. We'll get it back for you for a chance to win the game. And, boy, they did it well.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And now here come the Cowboys. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Yeah, part 1 is done, now part 2. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Really good, skillful, tough running throughout this contest. Picked up first down after first down. He's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
Now Smith with his first throw of OT. Out left side here to Bryant. And a nice gain of 21 yards. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. They'll run with Elliott. Spinning away. Down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Here's Morris. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, that run wasn't very successful. They did have a big one on the previous play. So you get the sense that the offense is probing around, trying to find the ones that are going to work. And when they find them, they'll keep coming back to them.
This is Elliott. And some room to roam now. And he's into the end zone.